Hi, it's Kristen, and we're going to look at how I did with my list of 30 books I wanted to read before I was 30. So, did I read all of these books? No. Did I read most of these books? No. Did I read like half of these books? No. Did I read some of these books? Yes. Spoilers at the top. I did terribly at this. I think my problem was I made this list and then I didn't look at this list for quite a while. Also, I think I stated this when I created the list. I put a lot of big books on this list, a lot of chunky books. I don't read a ton of big books generally anymore, especially not within a year. So why I put a bunch of 400 plus page books on here, I don't know why 3 of those books are actually like closer to being 1,000 pages long. I clearly lost my mind or had more faith in myself than I should have. But we're going to go through in order of the list, and I can tell you what I actually did read and potentially why I didn't read certain things. I am just sort of going to speed through this list. If you want to hear what these books are about and my reasonings for picking them, you can go and watch the video in which I announce my 30 books I want to read before I'm 30 list. So book 1 was Clytemnestra. I went to pick this up so many times and then just didn't. I don't know what. I feel like that's my answer for a lot of these. Number 2 was The Bandit Queens. I just read this for a book club after my birthday. So I read it like, a week, 2 weeks after my actual birthday. Started it last November, didn't get further than one chapter in, restarted it this May, read it, really enjoyed it, but didn't read it before my birthday. The Bone Season, number 3. I do still really want to read it, but I just never found myself quite like amping myself up to read it, because obviously it's the first book in a series, so I was like, if I really like it then I feel like I need to buy the rest of the series. And I was also slightly trying to be aware of my book buying, so I feel like I sort of psyched myself out of picking it up. Number 4, The Cloisters. I was gonna read this last October. I ended up playing Spookopoly-thon and no prompt led to me picking it up, and I really sort of wanted to read it around that time, so then we got out of the time when I wanted to be reading it, so I didn't end up picking it up. Number 5, The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi. I read it. I read it not long after creating this list, and I was like, I'm off to such a good start. Here we go. That didn't last, but it was one of the chunky ones. I really had a lot of fun with this. Took me a little bit to get into it, but once I was in, it was great. Badass female characters, older main characters, pirates, adventure, magic. Loved it. Number 6, Priory of the Orange Tree. I did not read this. This one, I kept going, I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to pick that up. It's going to be this month. It's going to be next month. And I just didn't. It's such a chunky book. It's so chunky. I am intimidated by it, really intimidated. So it's got to happen. It's got to. But it didn't happen before my birthday. Number 7, Electra. This is another Greek mythology retelling that I really wanted to get to. Had a whole like Greek mythology vlog planned and then haven't got around to doing that vlog, so haven't got around to reading this one. Number 8, The Fifth Season. This is like an iconic fantasy, sci-fi, climate change book. I plan to read it soon, but it didn't happen before my birthday, so also didn't read that. Number 9, Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre is a classic I have meant to read for such a long time, and I haven't. I was going to read it at Christmas, and then I had to read other things that were like slightly time specific, so I didn't get around to reading Jane Eyre. Number 10, Happy Hour. I read it last summer, I think. Had a great time reading it in summer, really lent to the atmosphere. This is set in the summer. It's just like messy female friendships, finding yourself kind of book. Not the best book of its kind that I've read, but I did have fun with it. Like I said, the atmosphere was really great. I think I read it at a good time. And yeah, it was fun. Number 11, Eat, Sweat, Play. This is a non-fiction. I just haven't found myself reading a ton of non-fiction, so I didn't get around to reading this one, but I want to. I want to read all of these, but I really want to get to that one sometime soon. 12, I Capture the Castle. I wanted to read this one last spring, summer. Didn't get around to it. Maybe this spring, summer. We will see. 13, An American Marriage. Didn't read this one, but I think I'm going to hold off on this one and suggest it potentially for a future book club suggestion for one of the book clubs I'm in. So I feel like maybe subconsciously that's why I've not read it this year at least, but it is one I want to get to because it was in a book box I got ages ago. 14 is The Vanishing Half. Haven't read it. Really wish I'd read this one before now. It's part of the book club I recently joined, but they read it before I'd heard of them, so I missed out on that chance of reading it. Number 15, Second Chance Summer. I read it last summer. I was going to say a great time reading it. This was sad, but I did enjoy the like more fun summer parts, the friendship, romance elements. The family side of things was sad, but I did read it last summer, had a good time. Number 16, Save the Date, also by Morgan Matson. I also read it. I read half of it before my birthday and then finished it 2 days after my birthday. So I'm counting it. We're gonna say it's when I read. This was probably my least favourite Morgan Matson, but these two I wanted to read because they're young adult, and I was like, gotta get my young adult books done before I turn 30. So I don't think it's like the book's fault that I didn't love it, it's that I think I'm aging out. But glad I got it done. Number 17, Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. I never felt compelled to pick this one up. I do want to read it at some point, but it wasn't like a priority for me. 18, A New York Winter's Tale. I fully intended to read this during the winter, but then like other books were more important in terms of like reading them to return to the library, reading them to return to someone who lent them to me, reading books for vlogs that I wanted to go out, and then it wasn't winter anymore and I'd wanted to read it in winter, so it ended up not happening. Number 19, The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry. Again, a bit like with Eleanor Oliphant, I just never felt compelled to pick it up at any point within the year. I do want to read it, but it's like lower down on my like want to read list than some other books. 20, The Left Hand of Darkness. Again, wanted to read it in the winter time, was no time for it. 21, The Name of the Wind. It's a chunky boy, and I just didn't read that many chunky books. 22, Circe. Greek mythology retelling. That one's gonna have to wait until I do that vlog. 23, The Five. This is non-fiction that I really did intend to read because my sister read it, and I'd said like any book that my sister read that I also owned I was going to read around the time that she read it, but I didn't. I wasn't in the mood at the time for non-fiction, and then it sort of passed me by, but it's one that I want to get to because I've heard such good things. 24 is This Changes Everything, which is a climate change non-fiction that I did read. This is actually my dad's book, but it's been on my TBR for so long that I sort of just accumulated it as one of my books. But I read it, I listened to a lot of it on audiobook, which was really good, and then I gave it back to him, back to his shelves. But yeah, this one was good. I read it. It was like chunky in that the writing's really small, very informative, very interesting. Glad I finally got to this one. 25, Cranford. This one again I wanted to read in the springtime, and I just didn't. There's no excuse for this one. Just didn't read it. I rewatched the adaptation of it and actually visited a National Trust place where they filmed some of it, which has sort of like re-piqued my interest, so I'll get to that hopefully this year. 26, Everyday Sexism. This is a non-fiction that I have read half of. Again, started this before my birthday, haven't finished it, but I'm over halfway through at this point, and I will finish it this month, so I'm counting it because I made a good attempt, and I'm enjoying it a lot actually. 27, The Guilty Feminist. This is one I just keep not reading. I keep picking it up, putting it by my bed, putting it on my shelf in my bedroom, fully intending to read it, and then just not. I'm gonna try it, I think, on audio and see if that helps me get through it, because I've started it, gone to pick it up so many times and just not read it. It's getting ridiculous now. 28, Beloved. This one I think is going to be really hard hitting about such a serious topic, that I think that's put me off picking it up, and I just haven't got around to it. 29, Places in the Darkness. This is sci-fi murder mystery that I read. This one took me a long time to read. If you've seen my reading books about space vlog, you will know I had a tough time with this one. I enjoyed the second half of it way more than the first half. It was a struggle to get through at points, but I read it and I liked it, so I'm glad it's off my TBR. And then finally 30 was The Paper Palace. I was going to read this one for like reading in real time vlog, because it's set sort of within like a 24-hour time period, but then I didn't have the opportunity to do that, so it's one I've not got around to, but I think summer might be a nice time to read it, so we will see. So out of 30 books, I read, or like got a good chunk of the way through 7, which isn't great. It's like 23% or something. Fully read 5, got halfway through 2, finished one very quickly after my birthday, still reading one, but we'll be done with them in my birthday month. So I'm saying 7 books. It's not good, but it could have been worse. I could have read nothing, but I'm not feeling proud of myself. But then I do blame my past self for putting so many chunky books on, and putting books that like I know I should get to, like ones that have been on my TBR for a long time, but weren't necessarily ones that in that moment, in that year, I was like really excited for. Like differing levels of excitement for all of these books. But I will read them all at some point. It might just take me another few years. But I'm 30 now. this list is done. It's null and void. I have passed my deadline. I'll have to come up with some other list to push me to read some things, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye!